Good afternoon, Olivia. And good afternoon, Steve, as well.
Good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon. I was unable to unmute, but now it works.
I realized that, Olivia, that's one of those handy dandy Zoom tools that was turned on and I was able to deactivate now. So,
Okay, thanks.
hi, Dario. Welcome back. Good to see you again.
Hello, nice to see you again, folks.
We'll give another minute or so to let folks who may be getting home or just logging in, and then we'll go ahead and kick off. And feel free, cameras on or off. Grace, who's on Kit and my team, and we'll have ours on, but y'all are welcome to do whatever's comfortable and convenient for you. You might be like prepping dinner at home, maybe, and while on a Zoom call. I've done plenty of those myself on these like early afternoon, late afternoon, early evening calls, not early afternoon.
I'm in Texas right now, so I've been running back and forth to the grill. 6 o'clock here.
Where in Texas are you, Steve?
Austin?
Okay, fantastic. All right, well, we will go ahead and get started. It's great to see everyone today. We have a 300% increase in attendance at this one. So, and we have a repeat attender too. So this is amazing. My name is Justin Salters. I own a consulting practice focused on community outreach for big projects. And so we're working with Orchard Partners, who is the developer for the Guadalupe Quarry Redevelopment project. Just real quick, I just want to make sure everyone can see my PowerPoint presentation screen as well. So thanks, Grace, for the head nod. Grace Geyser on my team is here helping out, supporting that because Kit had another commitment. So, but it's good to see you all, and we're looking forward to taking some of your questions and working through some of the answers. Before we get going tonight, though, I do just want to give you all just a quick agenda for how we're going to run through today. We're going to review some purpose and outcomes for our virtual office hours, why we're actually here doing this, talk about them, go over some ground rules, then we have some introductions, and then we will have a working session. And following our working session, we'll wrap up with some other announcements. And that's about how the next 54 minutes of our time together, or I will say up to 54 minutes if we get through questions. We are not necessarily, we're not bound to stay here until 5. But so that's what we've got planned for this evening. Just to review our purpose and outcomes, desired purpose and outcomes for today. Number one, these virtual office hours, our goal is that this provides a regular opportunity for community and the residents of Brisbane in particular to ask questions about the project so that we can then go and work on getting responses for those questions. And then also, and importantly, this is time for us to review the responses to the questions for clarity and completeness. Now, this is just I will just remind everyone, this is our second time having these. We had our first meeting just 2 weeks ago, so we are working on getting responses ready to review, if you will, making sure that we've got them sited and in a good position. Also, this is a spot for us to regularly share facts and updates about the project. I have nothing new to announce today. No surprises there, no exciting announcements. And then also an opportunity for our team to meet more Brisbane residents and businesses and to connect with you all. A little bit about virtual office hours. They do not replace our in-person community open houses. Our last one of those was on June 30th in Brisbane, and we are currently working to schedule another one coming up for later this year before we get into the crazy holidays, we're hoping. We'll share dates and locations and times as soon as we have that confirmed, but we plan and we are hosting virtual office hours twice per month, most months, because I'm not going to be on this the week of Thanksgiving. I'll be with my family the day before Thanksgiving. And you can feel free to attend as many as you'd like and are able to. These are really a drop-in. Also, if you're not able to be here for the entirety of it, just come for the portion that you can, whether that's starting early and starting on time, leaving early, joining late, staying until the end, or some combination thereof. We are just happy to have you all here with us. Just to reiterate, there's no need to attend all of the meetings, and you can start attending at any time. We're using this time to work on a frequently asked questions document that we're co-creating. So really, these are the questions that you all have. And ultimately, we will have this available on the project website, brisbanequarry.com. These are the dates that we have scheduled for virtual office hours through the end of the year. Also, please don't take that as an indication that they're ending in December. This is just as far out as we have room to without making the font really small. They are the second Wednesday and fourth Wednesdays of the month from 4 to 5 p.m. Pacific time. And as I mentioned, November 26th, the day before Thanksgiving, we're not going to have office hours. And Christmas Eve is also the fourth Wednesday, and we will not be having office hours then either. We've had some questions about how we use the information you provide to sign up and to register. I want to be very clear that our team's committed to respecting the privacy of all Brisbane residents, businesses, and others who engage with the project. And so information we collect for your registration, like your name, email address, zip code, or messages you send us, we only use that information to inform you about the project or new updates and to answer questions that you ask. We never sell your information or share it with third parties who are unrelated to the specific project in Brisbane. That's our privacy policy and terms of use, if you will. And then lastly, we've had folks ask us why we require attendees to register for these versus just putting a public link out. And this is really all about preventing spamming and as a layer of protection to keep us all safe from inappropriate material that folks may try to share. I think we've all experienced that, and we are doing our best to prevent any occurrences of that happening. Lastly, you only need to register once for each Zoom link. So there are 2 Zoom links, one that recurs every second Wednesday of the month, one that recurs the fourth Wednesday of the month. Register for one and you are into the series. I wish I could make it one link for both of them, but that's technology limitations. And if anybody in Brisbane works for Zoom and wants to work on super custom, that would be wonderful. Today's meeting is being recorded. And so the reason why we're recording them is so that folks who can't attend can watch it later. Or if you had such an amazing time and want to go back and rewatch it, you can absolutely feel free to go ahead and do that. Recordings will be posted to YouTube and on our website, brisbanequarry.com. Olivia, absolutely. We would love to have your neighbor join us. The easiest way to do that is Grace, do you mind putting the registration link in the chat? And then Olivia, if you can share that, they'll get the link and be able to join us right away. Thanks, Olivia, for the question.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So like I was saying, the recordings will be up on our website. I guess this is kind of a small update. It's not really project specific, but we're going to be rolling out updates to the website. So there'll be more ability to access information, just more detail, and we'll have the recording from our last one, and we'll have this week's recording, or this office hours recording will be happening soon as well. Now, I just saw a second Olivia come into the waiting room, and I said admitted Olivia number 2. So Olivia number 2 that just joined, if you we'll go ahead and we'll get to this in a second, so I know who is Olivia and who's Olivia's neighbor. Ground rules for today's meeting. Number 1, listen to understand. We just ask that everyone give full attention when others are speaking and avoid interrupting. We know there are going to be different perspectives, so we just want to acknowledge that and not look to minimize or dismiss anybody. Let's make sure that we all speak respectfully, using calm tones, even when we disagree with folks. We like to really focus on the issue and not the person. I'm not worried about that, and I trust everyone. And then we like to use I statements. So, I'm concerned about this, or I feel this causes me to question X. Please stay on topic. Keep the comments and questions relevant to the office hours purpose, please. There are things that we can's not the right word. We want to stay on, because we can't talk about anything, right? But we want to stay to conversations that are germane to the project, the Guadalupe Quarry Redevelopment project, and what is being proposed there. Also, we want to assume positive intent and acknowledge the impact that we all have. So we are beginning with the assumption and belief that everyone is here in good faith. And if harm occurs, intentional or not, acknowledge it and work to repair it. We also want to share the air, so please be mindful of how much you're speaking, which I am, and I'm going to try to stop talking here shortly. If you've spoken a lot, feel free to step back. If you haven't, step up, if you will. Mind your language. We want to be mindful and avoid inflammatory or politicized language or things that could shut down dialogue. We want to invite that. Then lastly, just consider technology etiquette, please. If you're not speaking, please mute. I know I will have my mic muted if I'm typing, because I've got an incredibly loud keyboard, I've heard. And so you all don't have to suffer through my clacking. I will keep it muted. And then also, if you have a question to ask, or if you would like to speak, please use the raise hand feature. And I can go ahead and make sure to raise hands for folks, or use the chat to say I have a question, or also feel free to go ahead and as Olivia so excellently demonstrated, feel free to use the chat to indicate or to share your questions. Those are our ground rules. So now introductions. We're going to go just around and share name, and then if you don't mind, just quickly, are you a Brisbane resident, or represent a Brisbane business, a project team member, or if you were just an interested person here looking to learn about the project and what we're doing. I'll go first. Justin Salters, as I shared, I'm a project team member, and I am the co-lead for our community outreach efforts. Grace, if you don't mind going.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Grace Geyser. I am on the team with Justin and Kit, sitting in today since Kit could not be here, and I'll be taking notes.
Thanks, Grace. Dario?
Yeah, I am Dario Dorella, a Brisbane resident. I live actually close to where the project is gonna be deployed, and I'm interested to learn more about what's going on with it.
Thanks, Dario. Olivia?
Hi, I live in San Francisco in Visitation Valley, which is, also part of what we face San Bruno Mountain. I am interested to just find out more details about the project.
Fantastic. Thanks, Olivia. And Olivia's neighbor?
Am I Olivia's neighbor?
I think so, Olivia.
Okay,
I think,
I don't
sorry.
know why my name is not on there.
I said my neighbor wants
Right,
to
I'm
join, and then
interested.
you join.
Oh, got it. Okay. My name is Jennifer Fernandez, interested person. I also live in Visitation Valley and also have a view of the mountain. And yeah, just kind of want to learn what this whole process is about. So just here for information gathering.
Thanks, Jennifer. Is it Fernandez, begins with an F, ends with a Z, or an S?
Yes, I did update my name, so you should see it now.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much. That makes my life so much easier. That's wonderful. And Steve.
Hi, Steve Brown, interested person. I've just been watching potential development projects here at the Guadalupe Quarry for about 15 or 16 years.
Great, thanks so much. Awesome. Well, our next part is our working session. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is figure out how to share our Q&A document and review that. Dario, it is great to see you back. Dario was at our office hours 2 weeks ago. And so thanks for providing questions for us. Dario, my update for you, as you can see, our response thing is blank. We are working on responses and we have them drafted. We just have to make sure that they're all accurate, but we don't want to put any inaccurate information out. So we're just doing a double check with the team to make sure that the technical subject matter experts get to weigh in on things. So I will have responses to begin reviewing on September 10th at our next meeting. And once we share this document, I'm going to communicate with everybody, and I'm going to communicate in good faith my intentions. But my intention is that we're going to be able to have responses to this first round of questions ready for you all to take a look at, and we'll have it shared on the website, and we will send an email update to everybody like, hey, come take a look. Here's our first set of FAQ questions and responses. Then we'll review those on the 10th of September. That's my intention. I'd like to get it out to everybody by the 5th of September. But I would also just say that's my intention, and I'm working hard towards that. But if I don't, please know it's not of any ill intent or intention to delay or avoid getting responses to you all. We're working on it. I promise you. So questions that we had received last time is, did the project shift from a warehouse to a data center? The answer to that is yes. On June 30th, we announced that the project went from a 1.3 million square foot warehouse proposal to proposing 2 buildings on the site, a 180,000 square foot data center, and then a second building to be used for some combination of assembly, advanced manufacturing, distribution, or warehouse, or all of the above, if you will, reducing the total project size by about a third and reducing warehouse use from being 100% to significantly less than that. Our data center is noisy, and when the WUD proposed for the core to be running 24 hours a day, data centers we do know that they create noise, and we also know that the city of Brisbane has a noise ordinance and the dark skies ordinance as well, that the project will have to comply with that. Data center is hungry in terms of electrical needs, water, etc. How will the project address impacts like 24/7 noise? Will all of the quarry property be developed, or will some of the land be conserved? I have the answer for that one. The verbal answer, the proposal is to set aside 82 acres of the quarry. It's a 144 acre property. 57% of it will be set aside for environmental conservation, habitat preservation, etc. Question 7, why is the land being proposed for development rather than mining for another 30 years, followed by reclamation? 8, if the mine has value, why is mining activity stopped? 9, what does the interim mining plan mean? What would be required to resume mining? 10, what are the reclamation requirements for the mine? What could those costs be? 11, how do long-term impacts differ between mining and the proposed project plan? And 12, where will the data center's cooling center be located? What are those noise implications? So those are the questions that we have so far that we're working on responses for. And the purpose of the rest of our time now is, what other questions do you all have? And we are happy to go ahead and take those.
Can I ask a question? I know I'm already responsible for a lot of what's on your
Dario, please ask I seriously, I love your questions because they're all like really good and thoughtful questions. So yes, please ask away.
I was looking at the website for the project, and I was looking what's currently in the mock-ups. And there is a piece of the construction there that is indicated as a substation pad, which I suppose is gonna be where the electrical substation is gonna be. But there is no trace or where the electrical cables are gonna run. And so I was curious, basically, besides of what will be affected by the site, what are all the other implications for like the infrastructure? So how do you bring their electric energy, water, and so on? And because I suspect that also those will have an impact on the surrounding park and the city just below it.
Great. So may I summarize, Dario, to make sure we capture the question correctly? So I think two parts is, very specifically, where will power for the substation, where will the power come into the property to connect to the substation? Grace, are you working on typing? I just want to make sure that you're typing. Cool. There we go. Awesome. It updated. The beauty of, Microsoft Office is not as fast as Google, but we're happy to use it. And then about the other infrastructure, so looking at where water will come in, other than water and electricity, we can also discuss about there's natural gas to the facility right now, but we can go ahead, or to the property right now. But we can go ahead and add that as a question. It's how will infrastructure come to the site?
I was on the website and don't see the plans that Dario was referring to. Can you direct me to where those are?
Oh, we're just the pictures. There are, I was looking.
Oh, you're just looking at pictures. Okay.
Yeah, there is one that is basically an aerial mock-up of the basically the site and with labels. And as Justin was saying, I think they are in the process of updating with the website, so it doesn't really look like the ones I saw a couple of weeks ago. So things might be shuffled, but I can share the picture I'm looking at if that was helpful.
And Jennifer, I will also, I just put in the chat a link to a PDF. These are the posters that we shared at our June 30th open house. And if you open that, you'll probably have to download it. Page 12 is the site plan, I believe, Dario, that you were looking at, or page 12 and page 13. 13 is a little bit more zoomed in, if you will. And you can see on the site plan, parcel 5 is approximately 1.5 acres for a substation pad.
Yeah, and so I think like to make the project look more beautiful, like the substation equipment and cables coming in have been omitted, but they will have to be there for the site to work. And so I was curious where they are gonna come from, if that will imply any other disruption besides the site for the mountain. And as a side note, also if how the fire risk are gonna be affected by that. Brisbane is having its own struggles already with fire insurance, and insurance companies bailing out because of the fire risk here. And so I was wondering also if that was taken into account.
That's another good question, Grace. I see you typing, so we'll get a question about, what potential fire risk implications might there be with the location of the substation. And then I think another question, Grace, is are there opportunities with the substation? Are there opportunities just to like consider aesthetics? Dario, is that what I'm hearing?
No, it's just that I mean, the mock-up being made by an architect, they want to show how beautiful the site is. They didn't show all the cables that are probably running in and out from these, and so I mean, it's understandable why it's not there, but the physical project will have them, and I don't know, maybe there is an option to make them run underground or whatnot, but that's not clear from the plan. So that
Okay.
was just I don't know.
No,
We'll look
Dario,
at.
I see what you're talking about on page 14 of that PDF that I shared. We have the rendering of the buildings, and there's a pad for the site for the substation. But to your point, there's no substation, drawn on it. So I get what you're talking about. Probably because we'll figure that out. But I'm assuming, yeah, the architect is not the one designing the substation, right? But that's a good question. And then Jennifer, to answer your question, but we'll just also mark this one down, Grace, of like where can I see, where can I see the project site plan, and we can put that link on there. We'll track that in the FAQ as well.
So I'm sorry if this is a simple question, but I'm just getting caught up. So the project is not, the property is not in city limits. It's unincorporated county, so it's a project development application and an annexation, correct?
Yes.
So, and this is just my ignorance, if it is within the unincorporated county, does the county have to weigh in on the development as well?
That's a really good question, Steve. And I'm not going to I know there's LAFCO involvement, and the project is within the city's sphere of influence already. And annexation is a project of it. So I think a good question, Grace, or like, let's see, Steve, if we phrase it this way, is, to what extent, if any, is the county of San Mateo involved in, approving the project? Is that the question, Steve?
Yes, that, and the parallel question is, could it be done just in the county, or what are the legal requirements that I understand it's likely in the extraterritorial jurisdiction of the city, but that doesn't necessarily require annexation. So I'm just curious, the county's involvement and whether the developer could do this in the county or it has to go into the city and why.
There we go. Thank you, Grace, for dragging down.
If I can, just back to my question, I'm reading what you wrote. All of that is good. The one piece that is missing is why is annexation necessary?
Okay. Yeah.
Not for or against, I'm just curious.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Grace. And thanks, Steve, for the question. Well, folks, I appreciate this. Not to, I'm not gonna, not, we're not gonna necessarily cut it off right now, but just there was that slightly awkward silent period. So just kind of as we're transitioning or winding down, Jennifer, Olivia, Steve, thanks so much for joining us and for the questions. Dario, appreciate you coming back and joining us again. If you have any other questions, folks, thanks, Jennifer. Let's see, we just added another question there. So we will continue to build this up. You can see how we are on this FAQ tracker, if you will. We are recording the day that we identified the question. And so my goal is always that within a month, if you will, so within 2 meetings, if not before then, we'll be able to have responses for everyone to review. And then as we go through this, and at our next meeting, we're really looking at getting feedback from you all of, does the response we have answer the question? Or does it cause more questions? And let's continue to go there. Now, that doesn't mean like that you're going to necessarily agree with the fact, like we're going to come up with a response that's transparent and based on all the information we have available, but it may not necessarily, there may be more questions that we need to go down and see if we can answer it. We will be transparent and tell you what we know and as much as we can about all of these questions. So we're definitely working on them. I'm learning a lot more about interim mining plans, Dario, and mining reclamation. It's fun and exciting.
And the links.
Yeah, exactly. So we are collecting links to share and sources so you can go back and review. Like this is where we're pulling the information from for folks. So we will be working on this and we'll continue. Jennifer, I'm going to put in the chat right here again. And if you don't mind, is DM the right word? But Jennifer, if you don't mind sending me or Grace directly your email address, we'll make sure to send you the invite so you can sign up to have these on your calendar for the future. We're super happy to have you come anytime you'd like. And then, let me see let's see. Okay, just recapping. Actually, here we go. This makes it even easier, if you will. Upcoming office hours. Today's the 27th, so our next one is September 10th. I have Olivia joining us again too. So you can see these are the dates. Those QR codes on the right, if you scan the one under register for the second Wednesday, that will let you register for the 10th, 8th, and 12th, if you will. And the one for the 4th Wednesday will let you register for those others. And then also we love feedback. Thank you. It's anonymous. And so we received feedback from an attendee at our last meeting that it'd be great to have representatives from the city of Brisbane attendees. So we've noted that and we are working on that to see if that's a possibility. Again, can't make commitments on behalf of the city of Brisbane, but we're working that. So so we'd love, it's literally a 2-minute survey, a quick NPS, Net Promoter Score, and just, some open-endeds if you don't mind. We will also go ahead and send a follow-up email to everyone who was registered with the link to go ahead and take the survey for this. Kit and I are also available to connect. So my email is justin@heysalty.com. And feel free to shoot me an email. That is the best way to connect with me. My cell phone number is also out there, but just to be honest, like us all, I get so many random calls asking me to refinance my house or to get solar installed that if I don't recognize your number, you're probably going to voicemail. That is best way to get in touch the first time with me is always via email. So with that, I just want to thank you all for joining us. And I'll just do one last time if there are any other questions that folks have.
I do have a couple questions. I was
Yes.
just trying to look over the material to see if it answered my question before I asked them.
Totally.
So one is just like, is there like a scheduled date for when this would happen? Like what is the timeline for this project? And maybe it's somewhere and I just missed it. I was doing a quick glance. And the other one is just like your plans, efforts, strategies to share information with the greater community. So Brisbane, Visitation Valley, Excelsior, I think also has some relationship to the mountain if I'm thinking about it geographically, and just like the other side, Daly City also has some boundary on the mountain on the southwest side. So just kind of thinking like, what is the outreach plan or strategy for disseminating information about this project to the communities?
Thanks, Jennifer, for those questions. I just want to make sure that I capture the right communities that you just mentioned. And
sure.
Let me see. I can't type apparently, Grace. So you said Visitation Valley.
Visitation Valley, the Excelsior District, Daly City, I think South San Francisco, and Brisbane, if I'm geographically correct. But if anyone can think of any that I missed, or if any of those are inaccurate, please chime in.
No, great. So Grace, yeah, if you don't mind updating just to capture those so we can go ahead and make sure we're thinking of them. Thanks for the question, Jennifer.
Sure.
One minor thing for me is you can delete line 18. I didn't see that question was in line 17, so it's redundant.
I just had a question about, you might have already said, but these FAQs, are they like shared somewhere else for us to look back on, or are they only shared within the meetings?
Olivia, thanks for that question. They will be living on the website. We just have not yet posted them because we don't have any responses yet. So as soon as we post them on the website, I'll be sending an email out to everyone letting you all know we have the FAQs up on the web.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
All right, I'll just do a last call for questions, at least for today. Not last call for questions, but just a last call for today's office hours. Awesome. All right. Well, again, just thank you everyone for coming. It really is, I appreciate you all taking your time. And I hope that these become valuable, especially as we begin to answer questions and have responses to go over. So thank you for that. Please, again, and I really do want to also appreciate everybody for just your respectfulness and thoughtfulness in the questions you're asking, and just the kindness of being here. So we appreciate that. And we will continue to work to answer questions and be transparent about what the plan is, and how feedback that's shared affects the project going forward. So have a great evening, everyone. And I hope to see many of you back again in a few weeks.
Thank you.
Thanks for letting me squeeze in without a registration.
No, totally, Jennifer. Thank you. Have a good night. Thanks,
Take care.
Dario.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.